All right, welcome to Market Pros, where every day we upload morning analysis and every Saturday we interview your favorite YouTubers, top crypto professionals, and market experts. My guest today is Smitty. How are you doing today, my friend?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good, good. It's definitely my pleasure having you here. So can I get a quick rundown of your experience in the markets and crypto?
Yeah, so I actually got my start in real estate before I ever moved into the investing world. I just since a child, I've always been around real estate investors and had them instill the value of real estate investing in my head very early on. So I made my first 100,000 off of buying a house that actually got damaged by a hurricane. I would have made more if I was able to sell it not damaged, but I profited off the insurance claim when everything was said and done because of appreciation and whatnot. So that's where I've made my initial money to invest with, and I moved into cryptocurrency investments as well as more real estate investments and whatnot. So as of now, I've had experience in cryptocurrency doing some long-term trades and just mostly blue chip stuff. I had a really good entry point in the market in about 2020 and was able to make a decent profit off of that. And now I'm mostly invested in metaverse projects. I believe that even with the market down as it is and how obnoxiously everything's depreciated recently, that is going to be the next sector within cryptocurrency to explode. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is on that. Even in the bear market, I'm going to keep my investments right where they're at. I'm not changing anything.
Gotcha. So, let's get into a little bit more of where it all started. Like when you first got into crypto, what were you interested in? Were you interested in Bitcoin only, altcoins?
So
Where was your
I
whole
was
head at?
mostly I was mostly interested in projects creating their own blockchain. And a lot of that comes from the fact that Ethereum is obviously one of the best cryptocurrencies out there. So many people have their projects built on Ethereum that it's just become a staple in the marketplace, and it's vital at this point. You have to have it. But I think that they're inefficient in a lot of the ways that they do things. So there's a lot that can be improved on, and some big players like Ada and uh, sorry, other blockchain projects in that sector. I think that they had a lot of potential to compete with Ethereum and explode because of that. But I'm now I'm less focused on that and more focused on metaverse because I'm seeing that a lot of people are still wanting to remain with Ethereum regardless, just because it has established its place, and that they're moving away from a proof of work system and trying to increase transaction efficiency and whatnot. So while I did make some money off of ADA and Polygon and all of those, I've kind of strayed away from blue chips, and I'm looking for some higher risk investments that can give me some better returns from really startup projects. That's mostly what I'm interested in, and so things that are new that have a lot of potential growth, and I can turn and grow to them because of that.
Gotcha. So, all right, next, let's talk about what is your long-term perspective on crypto and just all of the crypto markets, all of the crypto space, pertaining to regulation, where we're going long term, even though we have the banking system and institutions in, the stuff with stable coins, all this new stuff, with exchanges collapsing, they're all intertwined, stuff like that. It's kind of reminding me of, the 2008 thing, with
Hmm.
all these banking institutions intertwined, loaning each other money, and then once
Yeah.
one collapsed, I mean, we're seeing these exchanges, fall like rocks. I mean,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, not a lot of them have completely collapsed, but I mean, they've paused withdrawals, deposits. I mean, a lot of these exchanges you can't get your money out of right now, like
Yeah.
Celsius, Voyager,
Hmm.
stuff like that. I mean, even crypto.com, you have to wait, 5 days now to withdraw your money once you
Yeah.
sell. You know what I mean? So what's your long-term perspective on crypto? Where do you think we're going?
Yeah, so I think that it's actually very interesting you draw a parallel to the 2008 situations because a lot of that was caused due to loose lending standards. There's a lack of structure within that space that caused an overall market crash. And I think we're seeing something very similar within crypto, but it is also kind of anomaly. So as far as centralization goes, exchanges like Coinbase, Voyager, Celsius, and all of those, they're centralized, and because of that, there has to be a very, very specific structure to it that prevents them from really controlling people's money so much, and it's centralized, so obviously it's hard to do that. But that you see a lot of this collapse because it's centralized in the crypto space. Whenever the very nature of crypto is to be decentralized, but I think there's a lot of advantages to centralization on some platforms, but this really shows you right now the advantages to just being completely decentralized in cryptocurrency. So I will make purchases through Coinbase, but ultimately I'll hold all of my assets in decentralized wallets. And if I want to make some swing trades or something like that, then I'll go and put it in exchange like KuCoin or something like that. But the mass amount of the money that I keep is in decentralized wallets because of the fact that you can see how centralization can go so bad very quickly. It's because you give these people control of your money, which it's ultimately, as you see with Luna, a lot of them really are just people. You had one
Yeah.
guy in control of Luna that pulled all the strings, made everything happen, and he was able to single-handedly bring that project down. And they're really figuring out, was it intentional? Was it not intentional? Did he know that his actions were going to cause that? But that's, no one really knows for sure. But if he wouldn't have been the only one in control of that, if it would have been a DAO or something like that making the big decisions, then we might not have ever seen the Luna collapse that it really, I feel like, started this big chain of events and have made people lose a lot of faith in crypto as a result.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, so which market, I know you mentioned something about real estate. I remember you mentioned real estate and how that's how you got your start and all that. What is and I noticed you mentioned metaverse as well. So is that your favorite market to trade? Like, is that the market that's most appealing to you? And why is
Yeah,
that?
so it definitely is, and right now there's just not as much opportunity in trading and especially arbitrage, just because you need a lot of liquidity for that, and we're just not seeing as much liquidity in the market
Right.
as we have in the past because of lack of faith in the crypto market as a whole. But it's my favorite because it's new. There's high volatility. There's a lot of potential for growth, and whenever you start including NFTs and whatnot, you create a kind of trading anomaly where you're trading assets, and it may be for cryptocurrency that's well, it may be for USDC or it may be for another cryptocurrency entirely. So it creates opportunities where you can find price discrepancies before these currencies. And if it's an actual asset like an NFT, then a lot of times you can buy it cheaper in one currency, sell it for more in another currency. And it's not easy to find those opportunities, but it can be very lucrative when you do. That's one of the main reasons that I prefer to trade metaverse projects, but I'm also just very passionate about gaming, and I can really see a vision where metaverse projects are just take over the gaming industry and become the staple. Like, basically, if you're not built on the blockchain, you're not allowing people real ownership of their in-game assets, that you won't survive in the future. Now, this is something that I feel like we would see for several years. This is a long-term takeover if it did happen, but I think the lack of ownership and in-game assets, like especially skins and stuff like that, on the collectible side for video games. Like, I play Warzone all the time. Right now, they're about to create Warzone 2, and they're going to resell a lot of the skins that they sold you in the first Warzone. So you are just losing all value that you paid for in that because you never really owned it. They control your account, and they owned it. They can ban your account whenever they want, whatever it might be. You cannot hold that in a third-party wallet and sell it on a third-party marketplace. You just can't. So I think there's a lot of value in real ownership of assets built on the blockchain that allow you to go to third party marketplaces and do as you wish with them.
Yeah, I think it's going to change the whole game.
I think
For
so,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Because eventually nobody's going to want to play this stuff that it's, pay to play. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And plus the whole decentralization of the blockchains. You know what I mean? It gives more power to the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what are your future plans? Like, what are your plans for the future when it comes to crypto?
So when it comes to crypto, I'm in an accumulation phase right now. I want to be building up as many uh, metaverse related assets, NFTs, cryptocurrency, all of it. In particular, Atlas. I'm still heavily invested in that project, even with the crash that we've seen in the crypto market.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just trying to accumulate right now because I think that we are, if not already at the bottom, which there's a lot of evidence to support that we aren't, that we are nearing the bottom of the market. And I think that now and over the next couple months at least will be the best time ever to actually accumulate these assets because as we'll see a major explosion in the next bull run for metaverse projects, and that's when millionaires are going to be made, I believe.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's when the markets are crashing, when you have these huge crashes, or a recession or whatever, that is when the millionaires are made. I mean, if you have cash on the side, if you have dry powder, that's literally the best time to get in, and that's when a lot of startups start too, you know what I mean? Because it's easy to borrow money and stuff like that, because they want to lend that money. So it's a
Yeah.
little easier to start up a business, you know. Uh,
Yeah, institutions are looking for places to park their capital to earn money in a market where it
exactly,
may be difficult. Yeah.
exactly. Um, what advice would you give to, a newcomer or others in general about, the markets and crypto?
Yeah, well, for one, you need to be earning income from multiple things. You need to
Right.
diversify your income, and that's something that I had a heavy lack of that I've learned a hard lesson from. And I was relying a lot on crypto for my income, and then everything crashes. Of course, I'm not going to be generating as much income. So I do still generate income off of that, just not as much. So I don't have as much income to be dumping into crypto right now in a bear market where it's like we just discussed the best opportunity ever for it. And so, first off, if you're not generating income in multiple markets so that you can diversify into cryptocurrency, then you probably won't survive in the space in the first place. So, whether that's through real estate, trading stocks, trading cryptocurrency, because whenever you have you have your currency either in fiat or a stable coin. Obviously, it's not losing value like a cryptocurrency may in a crash, and you can trade all the way down and make a ton of money off of it. So, it basically, you need to be generating income off something other than buy and hold. And what if you can do that and then park the excess capital you have in a bear market with whatever projects you believe in, or even if it's just blue chip staples, I think that buying Bitcoin is an amazing strategy right now if that's all you want to do, because we'll see Bitcoin blow up whenever everything comes back as well. So
Yeah.
it I think that accumulation with excess income and capital that you have is the best advice that anybody could give right now.
Yeah. So, what is your since we're on that topic, what is your strategy for this bear market? And, whenever we do get into a accumulation phase, like, are you looking more at Bitcoin? You looking at alts? If so, what alts are you looking at? None of this is financial advice, by the way. But I'd like to know what you're looking at, what your plan is.
Yeah, so I'm looking at primarily altcoins. So Star Atlas, my favorite project overall. A lot of that, I think that it is still in its infancy. There's a lot of kinks to work out, but they have a very, very, very committed team with a lot of expertise. They've hired some people that are very native and experienced in the gaming industry, as well as CEO Michael Wagner is his background is in traditional finance. So there's a lot of very intelligent, experienced people involved with that project. So I'm accumulating Atlas, Polis, and ships right now, and as well as just many other alt projects like Illuvium and Gala Games overall. Pretty much any Gala Games project, Miranda's and whatnot. I think there are a lot of problems with Gala Games as well. I don't know if they'll ever necessarily be worked out, but I don't think that that's going to affect their growth. I think that they are also a very committed company, and while some of their products are questionable, they do deliver some very good products and collectibles that a lot of people are going to buy into. So Yeah, that's where my primary focus is, but I will definitely be purchasing some blue chip to diversify and protect some of my portfolio. So, back to Bitcoin, ADA, Polygon, all of those very stereotypical projects that
Yeah.
I think anybody should have as a regular part of your crypto portfolio. But I'm kind of opposite. That will be a smaller portion of my portfolio. I'm 23. I've got a long life ahead of me, so I've got a lot
Yeah.
of time to risk that extra capital because I think that it could pay off long term. If you're older, like I'm talking like 50s or something like that, and you're at the
Right.
point where that's your retirement, you need to protect it, then the portion of your portfolio that's in crypto probably should be in something a little bit safer. But
Yeah.
I'm high risk. I'm definitely going to have 90% of my portfolio in altcoins and early projects that have massive potential for growth.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of half and half. Half my portfolio is, Bitcoin and blue chips, and then the other half, I play around with smaller projects, NFTs here and there, and my strategy is obviously I'm a trader, so I got my levels. I do think we're going lower, and I do think that the macroeconomics are going to have something to do with it. But I have my levels, and I will be DCAing on the way down. I actually already started DCAing. I'm splitting it into 8 parts. So I've done one out of 8 so far. I did one at 18 or 19K. And so, I mean, we're still around there, but so, I'm going to go 16K, 15K, 14K, 13K, 12K, and then put the rest if we fall below 10K. So my average will be somewhere around like 14. You know what I mean? And
I think that's an awesome strategy, and that's something that I actually when I talk to a lot of people if they're wanting to invest in I don't want to say lazy, but a lazy manner where they just don't want to put much research or effort into it. That of course not financial advice. Always include that disclaimer, but
yeah,
there are a lot of people who have made very high returns off of just dollar cost averaging. It's a
yeah,
proven strategy. It's simple and it works.
yeah. Sometimes time in the market is better than timing the market,
Yeah,
you
because
know?
so you can't always time the market. There's some things you just can't predict, and I think technical analysis gives people an edge for sure. I
Oh, yeah,
think that a lot of people believe it's not possible, but it's not. It's just not easy. It's very difficult to learn. I think you're a good example of that. We've talked a lot about that, and I've seen you've
yeah,
made some very good calls before. But it gives you an edge in the market. But there are some macroeconomics that just are anomalies in this case. So
right,
we've had some things happen in the economy that no one could have predicted. So
yeah,
there are things that that just fall outside of all of that scope. So dollar cost averaging would have protected you from a lot of that, not all of it, of course. You're always if you're exposed, but it would have minimized your exposure to a lot of that downside and allowed you to realize a lot more of those gains.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, right now I'm in 50% cash.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm doing right now until I see what happens. Because I mean, we could drop down and I could miss half my targets. You know what I mean? Like if I think it's going to go lower quick, I'm not going to DCA until we get to lower prices. Maybe start at
yeah.
16, 14, something like that, And but yeah, so it all depends like cuz I am a technical analyst, so I rely solely on the charts. And I do I do stay tuned to macroeconomics and I know what's going on, so I add that into my TA, you know, and so I'm waiting for uh, an uptrend, before I dump the rest in, and we're still in a downtrend. So until that trend reverses, I'm still betting on it going to the downside. Now, I never call the top and I never call the bottom, but I get out and get in when the trend reverses. So as soon as it makes that lower high or higher low, you know, uh, depending on if it's in a downtrend or an uptrend, as soon as it makes that reversal, that's when I get out or get in. And I'm talking about on higher time frames like daily and weekly. I mean, if
Yeah.
you would have paid attention to the top of the market, you had bearish divergence on the
Yeah, I
daily and
remember you calling that out. You
yeah,
you
yep.
put you sent it out in a couple discords.
Yeah, and that was at what, 65? 5K or something like that.
Right at the top, man. You were right at the peak, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, yep. I took a lot of profits up there, changed my life for sure. That was the biggest trade of my life.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to make the second biggest trade of my life right now, and it just depends, because I have all that money that I'm DCAing is not all the money. I'm trying to call close to the bottom with half of it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I can, but I'm getting into all coins as well. Like my strategy
Yeah.
just isn't just Bitcoin. I already have my list. I already have my portfolio planned out down to the percentages. So I'm gonna have my blue chips, my Bitcoin, and then my, more sketchy high risk projects.
Yeah.
And then a small portion NFTs, which right now I'm probably 20% NFTs. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
just one project, something that, I believe in long term. I think they have good, it's Star Atlas. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I am in that. Uh, got in pretty early, which might not have been a good thing. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm at the point now where I'm very fortunate because I made a lot of money off of Star Atlas from trading their assets. So
Yeah.
while I wasn't trading cryptocurrencies themselves, I was trading the hell out of the NFTs.
Yeah.
So mostly Pierce R8, dude. I was killing it. I owned the Pierce R8 market for a while. So
Yeah.
at because of that, I'm at break even right now. I haven't lost any money, but I
Yeah,
had
me
almost
neither.
tripled my investment at one point. So
Yep.
at being down from triple my investment to break even sucks. But I at least I'm at break even and not at a 90% loss like some people. I think that
Yeah.
that's going to be a very good thing for me in the future, and I think we will definitely be back up to those highs. Eh, eh, Probably in a year to 2 years, but we'll see. It could be sooner than that. But if we see a crazy bull market explosion sooner than that, then maybe. But no, I don't know if I see it happening without some more. Yeah, I don't know if screams enough to really make Star Atlas explode, but we'll
Nah.
see. It's just all going to depend.
Yeah, a lot of it depends on whether we're in a bear market or a bull market too.
Yeah. It's
But
all timing. If it comes out at the right time, then it'll be good. If we're still in the same market we are right now, whenever it comes out, no matter how significant it is, you just don't have enough faith for people to invest capital into it.
right, yeah, in bear markets everybody leaves crypto, you know.
Hmm.
Uh yeah, I'm actually a little more than break even. I lost money with the ships, but I traded Atlas at the beginning when it had all that volatility,
Yeah.
to the upside and to the downside. Now, I mean, we've just been in a downtrend forever, you know what I mean? But I traded a lot of Atlas in the beginning, and I made quite a bit of cash off that. So it basically paid for the ships. So I'm not at a loss, but it is what it is. And so yeah, I lost money on the ships, but with the coins, I made it all back and some.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're about out of time. You got any
Yeah.
closing thoughts?
I mean, really just stay vigilant.
Stay
It's
nimble.
testing times, but yeah, stay nimble. This is the time when millionaires are made. This is where you really gotta show yourself in the market. If you have faith in the cryptocurrency market, now is the best time to be in it. Maybe if you were in it before we hit this bear market, you're hurting right now, but you best time to be putting capital in, and it will grow. It just, it'll take a while. We
Yeah.
gotta wait and see how it goes.
Yeah, and I mean, people don't need to be so worried about calling the bottom because, like, in the crypto
Yeah.
market, usually you have that, accumulation phase. So, I
Mm.
mean, you're kind of going to get some time. It's going to go
Oh yeah.
sideways for a while. Once it's done dropping and everybody that's left the market left, or that was leaving the market left, and then you got the long term, hodlers, stuff like that, and then you go sideways for a while. It might not last as long as before, you know what I mean? Because the cycles are different. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
you,
are.
you still had, your 80% drop, whatever, maybe by the time this is said and done, you know, uh, but the market is getting more tamed. I mean, if you look at
Yeah.
the log curve, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It kind of is diminishing returns, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Once you have institutional adaptation and a growing market
yeah,
cap, that's just part of it. It has to happen.
right, right. There's a lot of
Yeah.
big money in it now.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure having you on. And
Yeah, man.
if you guys like this video and the channel, like and subscribe. And everyone have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening. And I will see you tomorrow.